Hi and welcome to my presentation. So my brand audit project was on the brand Aesop. So the parent company background. So the parent company is Natura & Co, which is a Brazilian company that was founded in 1969 as a door-to-door business, and it has grown to become one of the largest global cosmetics companies in the world, worth approximately $15.5 billion. They first opened their stores in Paris in 2005, which is very similar to the beginnings of Aesop. So Natura have three brands: Avon, Natura, and The Body Shop, which was purchased in 2017. So prior to this was a major competitive of Aesop. They stocked very similar products, but now they are slightly differentiated towards a cheaper alternative targeting younger audiences. So the history of Aesop. So it started by a man named Dennis Pfeiffer in 1987. Whilst he was a hairdresser, he began mixing some essential oils along with the hair colouring products to combat the smells and received a great customer response. So he began working with chemists and started working on a small range of hair products, and then was on to hand and body products and eventually skincare. So in 1987, they established themselves in Melbourne, and in 2004 actually opened their first store in St Kilda in a very affluent area. In 2012, Natura acquired its first 65% share and opened a few stores, including stores in Boston and San Francisco, for a reported $68 million. And in 2016, they purchased the whole of Aesop. They have not changed their positioning or their target market. And it's actually quite a defining feature of their brand, and it's what's made them so successful and continue to grow. So the competitors, as I said before, they used to have Body Shop, but now it's a much more, it's a cheaper alternative, less organic, and very different scents and product lines. They've also got L'Occitane, Jelly, Crabtree and Evelyn, Kiehl's, Thank You, Diptyque, and Sukin. And the only existing brand extension is with APC for their post-toilet drops, but this was temporary and it was not a continuous collaboration. It doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. So the brand elements, the two most kind of identifiable things with Aesop is their name and their packaging. So with their name, it means Greek storyteller, which is what they aim to do in stores with their products. They aim to provide a story with the environment and the sense that they give, and along with that, their packaging. It's very simplistic, all in small tubes or amber bottles with a simplistic label, all in the same font and style. And it's ideally meant to be a memorable packaging experience, which is what it successfully does. For brand associations, these were obtained through a secondary research, including articles, social media, and reviews. So these were just some of the associations that came to mind for people when they thought of Aesop. So calming, unique, interior design, self-care, luxury, investment. So this is the image that Aesop successfully displays, which is a very unique offering. So for positioning, they position themselves to be a very high quality natural skincare and body care products that add value to a customer's everyday experience. Rather than just being a product, they try to position their customers very unique selling proposition. So they immerse themselves in this experience in store, and then customers actually are wanting to take a part of that experience home and experience a bit of luxury in simple day-to-day activities, which is how they manage to transform their experiences in store into actual sales. So for the target market, so Mr. Yang is a general manager of Aesop Japan, and he describes Aesop's main target market as customers that are intelligent, independent, educated, travelled, and well-read, and having more sophisticated consumer behaviour. So for them, it's a lifestyle choice and not simply purchasing soap because you need soap. So given that the cheapest item is a $20 lip balm, it's certainly targeted towards those who have a higher amount of disposable income, and is a quite sophisticated brand, so it is targeted towards those aged 25 and over. And they also tend to place their stores where creatives live, such as designers, writers, and architects. So they also attract those kind of customers. So for existing campaigns, Aesop is actually famous for their non-marketing approach. So the success they've had is focusing on the in-store experience and also heavily on word of mouth of customers. So they rely on people coming into their stores and having this amazing experience and then actually sharing that online and with their friends. And also experiencing their products in selective areas. So selective cafes, restaurants, and hotels that are all exuding a sense of exclusivity and luxury. They also support the art and design community, and that's the only thing that they promote. They do not promote their products in a traditional sense. They rely on customer sharing. So for the following data, all the information on Aesop was collected through a survey of 17 respondents. So 76% had actually heard of Aesop as a brand. Only 43% had used an Aesop product, and only 19% had owned one of their products. So the top two ways the respondents had heard about Aesop was through using them as a product in a cafe, restaurant, or hotel with 34%, and also mainly through word of mouth, as discussed before. So people were very aware of the range in their products, with over 60% mentioning a lot of their products. And when asked what comes to mind when they think of Aesop, they mentioned expensive, exclusive, and luxury. So for performance, this was getting people to rate Aesop in the following categories, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest, against 2 major competitors, so L'Occitane and Thank You. So for quality, it's clear that Aesop takes preference but not far behind L'Occitane. Value for money is much more spread across, so people finding that Thank You is much better value for money. But again, experience, Aesop definitely excels in this area. So for presentation, Aesop ranked highest, but it was also closely followed by Thank You and L'Occitane. Desirability, it was slightly more desirable L'Occitane than Aesop. Range, they all ranked roughly the same, and definitely availability was a kind of an issue for Aesop, averaging at 3. And service, Thank You ranked lowest, and Aesop was a good 5 points above L'Occitane. So imagery, these are the results when asked what they think. Are they sophisticated, exciting, admirable? Do they look up to the other customers? So all relatively high responses. People finding that Aesop is very admirable and sophisticated, and they do want to purchase from them. So for brand judgments, as a majority did say they do like Aesop as to a certain degree, and paying high prices doesn't seem to be a common occurrence for respondents. And they do consider an Aesop as a superior brand, but not always willing to pay that cost. So for judgments, mostly positive responses again. Interestingly, many would purchase Aesop as a gift and recommend it to others, and many also stated that they do really like the brand's appeal. And for resonance, so not many loyal customers of Aesop, but that also could be due to the respondents sampled. It was a very mixed ages and genders and occupations, so not all were in that target market range, and not many had actually owned their products, but those that did use them and were saying that they were proud to own them. 89% responded they were proud to say that they owned an Aesop product. And these are the conclusions that I came upon to when I finished my brand audit. So Aesop is perceived as a very high quality brand that is far superior in positioning. People are not always willing to pay the premium prices. They're an admirable and sophisticated brand. People enjoy using the products and find its great quality with great presentation, but the only issues are that it is somewhat limited in availability. But again, that can be attributed to the idea of them wanting to be slightly exclusive. And that comes to the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it.